What happened to Nikolas Cassadine on General Hospital? Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Nikolas Cassadine has been through a lot of changes on General Hospital over the years, so some might need or want a refresher on the character's twisted history. Nikolas was introduced in 1996 with Tyler Christopher originating the character, and in 1999, Colton Scott took over. Christopher returned to the role in 2003 and played the character up until his exit in 2016, with actor Nick Stables stepping in briefly to usher Nikolas off the canvas. There were also a handful of episodes in December of 2005 when Chris Beetham took over the role, while Christopher underwent surgery on his broken arm. Although Nick was presumed dead, there was no body, and sure enough, he returned very much alive and played by Marcus Coloma, beginning in October 2019. Although for an episode in September 2021, the role was briefly recast with actor Adam Huss, who returned again in November 2022 for a week-long stint. And when it was announced that Coloma would be exiting the soap in January 2023, Huss once again stepped in to replace him for Nick's final episodes. Then, when Nikolas resurfaced, Huss was still playing the role and continues to appear on and off. Nikolas first arrived in Port Charles as a teenager to donate his bone marrow to save his sister, Lulu Spencer. Although he and brother Lucky Spencer started off butting heads, the siblings eventually bonded. Nikolas' world was turned upside down when he learned that his uncle, Stephen Cassadine, was really his father. He was able to lean on his mother, Laura Spencer, especially after Lucky was presumed dead. A DNA test later proved that Nikolas' father was actually Stavros Cassadine after all, and he learned that not only did Helena Cassadine have a very much alive Lucky hostage, but she had resurrected Stavros as well. Stavros died in a fight with Luke, and Laura fell into a catatonic state after the murder of Rick Webber. The tragedy brought Lulu, Lucky, and Nick closer together. Although Nikolas dated Sarah Webber, Angia Campbell, his true love was Emily Quatermain. They grew closer as she battled breast cancer, but on her deathbed, Emily chose to marry her first love, Xander Smith. But when Emily went into remission, she had an affair with Nick that ended her marriage. Suffering amnesia in a car accident, Nikolas was taken in by Mary Bishop, a war widow who told him he was her husband, Connor Bishop. The two men looked identical. Emily found Nikolas, and he regained his memories of her. Mary flipped out and went on a murder spree, ultimately dying in a shootout with police. Helena tried to put a stop to Nikolas' relationship with Emily, so he threw his grandmother off a cliff. While Nick was on trial for her murder, Connor showed up very much alive and sought vengeance for Mary's death by raping Emily on the orders of Helena, who was still alive. Emily couldn't deal with the sight of Nikolas, who looked like her rapist, and that strained their marriage and sent Nick into the arms of Courtney Matthews. When Courtney became pregnant, her husband, Jasper Jacks, tampered with the test results so he would appear to be the father, not Nikolas. Following the baby's birth, Courtney died before she could tell Nikolas the truth, but after Robin revealed he was the father, Nikolas took custody of the boy and named him Spencer. He reconnected with Emily, and they teamed up to rescue Spencer when his nanny, Colleen, kidnapped him for Helena. Nikolas' relationship with Emily came to an end when she fell victim to the text message killer. He began having hallucinations of his late love and was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Though it meant giving up the visions of Emily, he ultimately went through with the surgery to save his life. Later, Nikolas was shaken by the arrival of a con woman named Rebecca, who looked just like Emily. When Lucky began dating Rebecca, Elizabeth Webber found herself attracted to Nikolas. Although Lucky and Liz reconciled and became engaged, she had an affair with his brother. Discovering the betrayal, Lucky washed his hands of them both. Elizabeth became pregnant, and though Lucky was the father, Helena switched the results so they named Nikolas as Aiden's baby daddy. Although he mended his relationship with Lucky after his son, Jake, was killed in a hit-and-run, Nikolas was crushed by the revelation that he wasn't Aiden's father and attempted to run off with the boy. He reconsidered and returned Aiden to Liz and Lucky before leaving town in 2011. Nikolas returned in 2013 to reveal that Stavros was alive and behind Lulu's kidnapping. After failing to rekindle things with Liz, he struck up a relationship with that came to an abrupt end when he learned that the baby she had given birth to was his nephew, since she'd stolen Lulu's frozen embryo. When Nikolas discovered that Helena's new henchman, Jake Doe, was really Jason Morgan, he kept the news a secret, hoping to take over ELQ to rebuild Cassadine Industries. He began dating Hayden Barnes, who had been posing as Jake's wife. But that got complicated when she threatened to reveal Jake's true identity, and Nick hired a hitman to kill her. Hayden survived, and when she emerged from her coma, Nick brought her home with him to keep an eye on her. After eloping to Vegas, Nikolas discovered Hayden was really Rachel Berlin and demanded a divorce, but she blackmailed him into staying married, revealing she knew he had her shot. Jason and Sam learned this as well, and used it to force Nikolas to give back ELQ. He then faked his own death to frame Hayden, and bumped into Ava Jerome in London. They were briefly kidnapped, but escaped to Cassadine Island, where they ran into Sam and Jason, as well as the mysterious Theo Hart, who turned out to be Nikolas' uncle, Valentin Cassadine. He forced Nikolas to sign over the entire Cassadine estate to him, and then shot him. Nikolas fell over a balcony to his presumed death. When Ava attempted to use a psychic to contact her late daughter in 2019, she also asked about Nikolas, but the seer was unable to reach his spirit on the other side. And that was because he was very much alive, as Ava found out when her masked stalker removed his disguise to reveal he was the Cassadine prince. It was then revealed that Nikolas was working with Jax and Hayden to find the codicil to Helena's will that would restore the Cassadine fortune to him and Spencer, taking it away from Valentin. Unfortunately, it was hidden in a painting of the matriarchs that wound up in Ava's hands. Pretending to be a ghost, Nikolas tormented Ava to learn the whereabouts of the portrait, and used Jax to get his hands on it. Nick had already run Hayden out of town by making her think her life was in danger from Valentin. Ultimately, Nikolas agreed to marry Ava, so she would hand over the codicil, and Valentin was kicked out of the mansion. Nick's family was happy he was still alive, but not that he'd stay hidden until he could take down Valentin. Spencer, in particular, took the news hard. Franco Baldwin also wasn't thrilled to learn of the past that Liz and Nick had together. Nikolas and Ava found themselves trapped in a marriage where neither could leave without giving up a fortune, although they soon realized they had a lot in common and ultimately admitted their love for each other. Nikolas decided to make it official and proposed to Ava properly to make their union real. Unfortunately, they began receiving creepy gifts from a stalker, and as things escalated, Ava split up with him, fearing for her daughter's safety. When Spencer returned to Port Charles, Nikolas soon suspected his son of being the stalker and set a trap, but was proven wrong as Ava's car was set on fire, while Spencer was with him. Nikolas wanted to fight for his marriage, but Ava took out a restraining order to keep him away from her, and planned to leave the country until the stalker was found. Nikolas allowed Spencer and his new girlfriend, Esme Price, to move into Windermere with him, and was shocked when a guilty Spencer finally came clean about the stalking. Nikolas was thrilled to be able to reunite with Ava, and supported her when she had his son arrested for his crimes. He had to do a little damage control to keep Alexis and Sean quiet about exposing his role in Hayden's shooting, though he wondered if the newly returned Victor Cassadine was behind Hayden's mother's death. Nikolas allowed Spencer to move back into Windermere, and agreed to let Esme stay as well. Ava was furious that he was defending Esme, and called off their vow renewal. Nothing he said could convince Ava to change her mind, and then things got even worse as Esme manipulated him into a passionate kiss that led to the pair having sex. Ava decided to fight for their marriage, but Nikolas wanted a divorce, claiming he wanted a clean break so they could remarry. After Esm blackmailed him, Nikolas finally told Ava about sleeping with Esm, and when a fight between the two women ended with Esm going over the parapet, Nikolas made it look like she left town. Though he did tell Victor the truth, Ava demanded a divorce, but Nikolas refused, and any progress Nick had made with his son ended when Spencer overheard about him sleeping with Esm. When Ava was attacked by someone with a hook, Nikolas helped give Liz an alibi and was upset when Ava wouldn't let him visit her in the hospital. Nikolas wasn't ready to give up on their marriage and tried to prove his loyalty by allowing Ava to record his confession about Esm to use if she needed. Nikolas tried to resist Victor's pressure to divorce Ava, but Victor stunned to find a very much alive Esm breaking into the safe in Windermere, and further shocked when she revealed she was pregnant with his baby. He agreed to help her, but lured her to an abandoned wing of the estate and locked her in a room, though he had trouble keeping her there. When Elizabeth was assaulted by an escaping Esm during a trip to Spoon Island, she learned what Nikolas was up to and reluctantly found herself involved. When Victor got Spencer out of prison and brought him back to Windermere to live, Nikolas refused to let them stay, fearing Esm would be discovered. He signed divorce papers and agreed to give Ava Windermere in the settlement. Esm managed to escape by leaping off the parapet, but Nikolas and Liz were relieved when she resurfaced and had amnesia. Nikolas brought Liz's mom, Carolyn Weber, to Port Charles in the hopes of getting her to condition Esm the way she did Liz so she'd never remember, but the doctor refused. He also attempted to get Esm to sign away her parental rights, but Heather Weber stepped in to kibosh that too. When Spencer announced his intentions to take custody of Esm's baby, he also revealed to his father that Ava had shared his confession with him to force his hand. Furious, Nikolas went to Windermere to confront Ava and threatened to make it even by taking Avery away from her. But that was a step too far, and Ava hit him over the head, killing him. Ava enlisted the help of Austin Holt to help get rid of the body. However, the cops began searching Spoon Island before they could manage it. The pair worried when the police searched the tack house, but Nikolas' body was nowhere to be found. Although Ava insisted to Austin that Nikolas had no heartbeat, it was then revealed that the Cassadine prince was hooked up to life support in a secret location and being watched over by Austin's cousin Mason. It was soon revealed that Austin had been in on the scheme from the start and helped nurse Nikolas back to health in Portak. Feeling much better, Nikolas headed off to keep the Cassadine fortune from falling into Spencer's hands. He made some transactions at a Swiss bank to help prove that he was still alive, but wasn't quite ready to return to Port Charles yet. Nikolas finally made his way back to Port Charles on New Year's Eve and revealed himself to Ava. He denied her accusations that he'd killed Austin and tormented her, and asked for her help in taking down Esm. There was clearly a strong connection between the two even after everything. Nick then paid Spencer a visit and was overwhelmed to meet Ace for the first time. He asked his son to come away with him so they could all be together, but Spencer declined, instead giving Ace to his father. Nikolas then returned again in February with Ace, and Laura convinced her son that a life on the run was no kind of life for a toddler. At her urging, Nick turned himself in and pled guilty to holding Esm against her will, being sent to Pentonville to serve out his sentence. In April, Nikolas was visited by Ava, who confided that she had been getting closer to Sonny and discovered that his bipolar medication dosage had been dangerously reduced. Nick warned her to watch her step, but she insisted she knew what she was doing. Then in August, Laura visited her son, who had been transferred to Flatland Prison. She hoped he might prove a viable donor for Lulu, who needed a liver transplant, but they were disappointed when the tests showed he wasn't a candidate. Nikolas urged her to go find Lucky and bring him home. Nikolas Cassadine has always been one of the most intriguing and complex characters in General Hospital. Born into the notorious Cassadine family, Nikolas's life has been filled with drama, tragedy, and constant battles with his family legacy. From his complicated relationships with his mother, Helena, to his intense love interests, including the tumultuous bond he shared with Emily Quatermain, Nikolas's character has been shaped by the shadows of the Cassadine family's wealth, power, and ruthlessness. However, it's in recent storylines that the fate of Nikolas has become a major topic of discussion among fans, leading to many questions about what has happened to him and whether or not he will return to the canvas. Nikolas's absence from General Hospital has been a subject of speculation and mystery. The character's sudden disappearance in 2024 left fans reeling, as the show's writers decided to take a bold direction with his storyline. What led to Nikolas's disappearance, and what could this mean for his future on the show? To understand the current situation, we need to look back at some of the key moments leading up to this point. Nikolas Cassadine, portrayed by actor Marcus Coloma, had been a central figure in many dramatic storylines over the years. His legacy as the son of the infamous Stavros Cassadine has always weighed heavily on him, often leading to conflict
love
life
with those around
has
him.
also been a significant aspect of his character arc. From his passionate romance with Emily Quatermain to his more recent relationship with Ava Jerome, Nikolas has consistently struggled with balancing love and power. But it is his relationship with his family, particularly his aunt, Helena Cassadine, that has most profoundly impacted his life. Helena Cassadine's influence on Nikolas cannot be overstated. As one of the most feared and manipulative matriarchs in the General Hospital universe, Helena's actions left a trail of devastation throughout Nikolas's life. Her attempts to control him, her manipulation of family members, and her obsession with power have always been a recurring theme in his storylines. The impact of this manipulation, coupled with his strained relationship with other members of the Cassadine family, has made Nikolas a man constantly torn between doing the right thing and succumbing to the dark legacy of his family. However, in recent years, Nikolas found himself on a path toward redemption. His marriage to Ava Jerome was one of the more surprising developments in his storyline. Though their relationship started off with deception and mistrust, Nikolas and Ava eventually grew closer. Their union, which initially seemed to be based on mutual benefit, became more complex as both characters navigated their own personal struggles and tried to build a life together. Despite the many obstacles they faced, from his family's interference to the ever-present threat of danger, Nikolas seemed to be slowly carving out a future for himself outside of the Cassadine legacy. But as is often the case in General Hospital, the path to happiness is never easy, and Nikolas's life was about to take yet another dramatic turn. The key turning point in Nikolas's recent storyline came with the shocking disappearance of the character. Nikolas's vanishing act occurred amid a web of lies, betrayals, and personal turmoil. His sudden departure left many unanswered questions, and it was soon revealed that his disappearance was connected to a deeper conspiracy involving some of the most powerful forces in Port Charles. One of the main factors leading to Nikolas's absence was his ongoing conflict with his family, particularly his uncle, Valentin Cassadine. The Cassadine family has long been known for its power struggles, and Valentin, who had spent much of his life fighting for control of the family fortune, was always a formidable opponent. Nikolas's decision to challenge Valentin's authority was one of the final straws that led to his downfall. With Valentin's ruthless tactics and his ability to manipulate those around him, it became clear that Nikolas's position in the family was increasingly unstable. Meanwhile, Nikolas's strained marriage to Ava also played a role in his disappearance. While they had grown close, their relationship was far from perfect. Ava, too, had her own share of baggage and personal demons. Nikolas's struggles with his family, combined with Ava's complicated past, made their marriage a difficult one to maintain. However, it was their shared enemies, particularly Valentin and others within the Cassadine organization, that ultimately put their relationship to the test. As Nikolas was drawn deeper into the web of family drama and criminal activity, his ability to maintain a sense of stability in his life became more and more difficult. The final blow came when Nikolas was involved in a violent confrontation that resulted in his apparent death, or so everyone thought. While the details surrounding his death were murky, it was suggested that Nikolas had been attacked by someone close to him, possibly Valentin or one of his associates. The nature of this attack, coupled with the secrecy surrounding Nikolas's disappearance, led many to believe that he had been murdered. The sudden nature of his disappearance, combined with the lack of any definitive evidence, created a mystery that fans have been trying to unravel ever since. Since Nikolas's vanishing act, several characters have been deeply affected by his disappearance. Ava, devastated by the apparent loss of her husband, has been left to grapple with her grief, while also dealing with the mounting pressure from other Cassadine family members who seek to control the family's wealth and legacy. Valentin, who may or may not have been involved in Nikolas's disappearance, is dealing with the fallout of his actions, and the rest of Port Charles is left wondering if Nikolas will ever return, or if he has truly been lost. Surrounding Nikolas's disappearance has left fans speculating about what will happen next. Could Nikolas be alive and hiding in plain sight? Many fans believe that there is more to his disappearance than meets the eye. After all, General Hospital is known for its shocking twists, and it wouldn't be the first time that a character presumed dead returned to the canvas. Nikolas's absence has also opened the door for potential new storylines involving the Cassadine family. With his father, Stavros, long gone, and his uncle Valentin maintaining control over the family business, it's possible that Nikolas could return to reclaim his birthright or become involved in a new battle for the family's legacy. Nikolas's disappearance also raises questions about his legacy and the future of the Cassadine family. With the power vacuum created by his absence, there is potential for new conflicts and alliances to form. His cousin, Spencer Cassadine, has been a central figure in the ongoing Cassadine saga, and it's possible that Spencer could become more involved in the family drama as he navigates the fallout from Nikolas's disappearance. Could Spencer take up the mantle left behind by his father? Or will another character rise to take control of the Cassadine empire? As for Nikolas himself, the mystery surrounding his fate has sparked intense speculation. Will he return to Port Charles in dramatic fashion, or has the character truly been written out of the show? There are many possibilities, and General Hospital fans are eagerly awaiting any new developments in the story. Whether Nikolas is dead or alive, his disappearance has undoubtedly created a major shift in the dynamics of the Cassadine family, and his return, if it happens, could have significant repercussions for the characters of Port Charles. For now, the fate of Nikolas Cassadine remains one of the biggest mysteries in General Hospital. His disappearance has left a hole in the lives of those who loved him and those who feared him, and the uncertainty surrounding his fate continues to drive the drama on the show. Fans will have to stay tuned to see if Nikolas will ever make a return to Port Charles, and if so, what role he will play in the ongoing saga of the Cassadine family. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updated news.